Ah, the Sega Mega Drive, what a classic console this was, also known as the Sega Genesis over in America. This video is literally just going to be about the Mega Drive, telling you why it's my all-time favourite console and why nothing will ever surpass the Sega Mega Drive as being my personal most treasured console of all time. So to kick this off, the Sega Mega Drive was the very first console I ever played. It was the very first console I ever had my own games for. It came out, I think the Mega Drive came out around 1991 or 1990, something like that, or maybe even before, I think 89 probably. And when I was born, I was kind of born into the time of the Mega Drive. I was born in 1992, so when I was getting quite not too young to play games, that when I was old enough to start playing around with games, it was the Mega Drive, and Sonic 2 was the very first game I ever played. And that kind of developed from there. I loved playing it every day. I would just play it and play it and play it. And as I got older, I would finish school, come home and stick the Mega Drive straight on and just play it endlessly. And no other console has had that kind of long life. The fact that I can go back and play the Mega Drive now and still have a great time, that's something I've never had with a previous console such as the N64, the GameCube, the PS2, the PS1. If I played any of those now, I'd feel that I would get quite bored quite quickly. But that's not the case with the Sega Mega Drive. I can play this even today, some of these old like 1990 games, and to still have a blast on them. So the Mega Drive had some classic game series. Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog was born on this console, and even today Sonic's one of the most popular game franchises of all time. Now Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles were four of my favourite games of all time. They still are, they will always be. And Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, I've said this in the past in my previous games, with the bundle where you put them together and play it as one full game, that is my favourite game and it always will be, of all time. It's just a classic to me. I've completed it, there's without exaggeration, about 40 times I think I've completed that game. And I can just play it again and again, day after day, without getting bored. And that's what was good about the Mega Drive, because kind of save files and massive adventure games weren't big then. It was all about kind of arcade modes and small games where every time you played it you had to start a new game. That's what was great about it, because you instantly get chucked straight into the action. It's really fun. Of course there were some kind of rubbish, boring games on there as well, such as Columns. You'll see some of that in this game, in this video as well. But things like that, it just showed kind of what a wide library of games that the Mega Drive had a bit of everything in there. But my games were always the kind of Sonic games, and then after that, when I moved up a bit in age, when I was sort of playing games properly without just dabbling around with it because I was too young, I was getting into the Disney games. Now if you've had a Mega Drive, you'll know how brilliant the Disney games were on the Sega Mega Drive. Games like Aladdin, The Lion King, Pinocchio, I had Toy Story as well, and of course the Mickey Mouse games, Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion. Just a pointer as well, Castle of Illusion is having a complete remake this year as well. There is a teaser trailer, make sure you check that out, it's going to be fantastic, I can't wait for that. But I loved the Disney games on the Sega Mega Drive. Again, they were some of my favourite memories of playing Mega Drive, like literally straight after school every day. It was a blast, and that's literally what got me into gaming, playing these games. Where I said Sonic 2 was the first game I ever played, my first game that I actually owned myself, which was mine, was Pinocchio on the Mega Drive, and I will always treasure that game. I've still got it today as my first ever game that I bought, and I'm always going to keep that because I'm such a big gamer. I want to keep the very first game that I owned. And if you compare the Mega Drive to games today, obviously I don't even need to mention the gulf of difference, but it's so crazy how it is different, because Mega Drive was really hard. These games were really hard when you first play them. Literally you'll get chucked straight into the first level, and I can get game over within 30 seconds on a lot of these games. Games such as Alex the Kid, Golden Axe, Shinobi, these were very tough games. And it just shows the kind of difference back in those days when games were sort of based around arcades, and they upped the difficulty on purpose, so if you died really quickly in the game, you would chuck more of your money into these arcade machines to try and do better, and it was a big money making kind of business really. And then obviously they were ported over to Mega Drive and the difficulty was still there, so it was still very tough to play. So that a lot of these games were too tough for me back in the day, but like I said, I had a blast on a lot of them. And again, Sonic and those Disney games, things are also a few notable mentions are Lemmings. That was a great, fantastic game. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and that game was brilliant on Mega Drive. Earthworm Jim. What else was there? There was obviously you got the classics like Theme Park as well, and what was it called? There was Theme Hospital as well. These are all classic games that I will always treasure for the rest of my gaming life really. So yeah, I just wanted to do this little video just to talk about the Mega Drive and how popular it is. I'm showing you some gameplay now. I didn't do too well in the games that I'm showing you. I'm actually filming some of the SEGA Mega Drive collection from the PS3. It doesn't have a brilliant choice of games on there compared to some of the classics that I've played. It's got some of the kind of made for Mega Drive games, so it didn't have any of those Disney classics or anything that I was talking about. Some of the games on there are very tough. Like I said, Shinobi, Alex the Kid, they were very tough games, so I've tried to give you a good bit of gameplay, but forgive me for the lack of skills in there, because like I said, I am 20 years old now and I still can't play these games compared to when they were first released and I was playing them as a child. Altered Beast, if anyone's played Altered Beast, comment down below and tell me if you've ever got past the second level. I'm being serious, I've never got past the second level. I can't do it, it's too much of a hard game for me. But yeah, Mega Drive, or Genesis if you are in America, is such a classic, and I just wanted to do this video talking about it. So leave your comments down below guys, and if you've got any special memories of the Mega Drive, tell me if it was your first console, and if it was, what kind of games were you liking for it. And tell me, I want to know as well, which Sonic game do you think is the best? So we've got Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Sonic & Knuckles, we've got Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3D, Flicky, there was one called Tailspin as well. What else was there? I think I've covered all the Sonic games, so yeah, comment down below guys and tell me what you think is the best Sonic game on the SEGA Mega Drive. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.